Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining our annual Strive Scholarship Ceremony. This is our second year of conducting the ceremony virtually. Although we prefer to meet in person, we are still honored to have everyone join us today for this exciting event. The annual Strive ceremony is an event that we are all looking forward to throughout the course of the year at the Housing Authority, and is an exciting opportunity to support program participants that are pursuing educational opportunities. The opportunity to support scholars through their educational journey is part of SCA's mission to help families achieve financial stability and self-reliance. I would like to just quickly go over a run of show and note some of the speakers that we'll be hearing from today, and acknowledge the support provided from SCA staff in arranging for this event. In just a few moments, we will hear from some of the scholars on their educational pursuits. Preston Prince, SCA's Executive Director, will provide keynote remarks. We will then hear from 3 scholars. And our guest speaker is Cindy Quinn, and Kathy Espinoa Howard, a member of SCA's Board of Commissioners, will provide closing remarks. I would also like to acknowledge Dory Cison, which we will hear from today, and to thank her. She was critical for this year's event and her ongoing coordination with all the scholars. Also, Ricardo Alvarez, a housing programs manager, provided support throughout planning for this event this year, and Orly Amy from SCA's executive department, who is somewhat emceeing the Zoom event and has provided support throughout it as well. Now we will turn to the video vignettes.
I'm sorry, Tom, I'm prepared to say some welcoming comments. So can I do that real quick? And then instead of keynote comments, if that's okay. Sorry to throw a wrench into things.
No, that's fine. Please go right ahead.
Great. Well, then I just want to say welcome to the 2021 Strive Scholarship Ceremony, in which we're recognizing scholars who live within Santa Clara County Housing Authority's assisted housing. Today's my 3-month anniversary, my exact 3-month anniversary of being the executive director here at Santa Clara County Housing Authority. And I have to tell you, without a doubt and without any reservation, this is the best moment of my 3 months. And to be quite honest, this is going to be the best moment every year that I am here. I know this will be the highlight of what I get to be part of. I want to acknowledge all of our scholars, all 58 of them. Their letters of recommendations were outstanding. Their paths are varied. They are attending vocation schools, community colleges, CSU campuses, CU campuses, as well as other public and private universities. They are undertaking different fields of study, including art, education, business and social sciences, health sciences, and STEM. Individually and collectively, their stories are inspiring. I really want to say congratulations to all of our scholars. I want to thank the Housing Authority staff who participated in the evaluation of the application. Also kind of recognize all that Tom just mentioned specifically for the participation in the evaluation of the applications and for their dedication to recognizing talented students and their commitment, the staff's commitment, that these students receive acknowledgement for the respective pursuits of academic excellence. I want to welcome and thank a new Strive partner, Jan Berthold, who is a Senior Vice President with Heffernan Insurance Brokers. Welcome, Jan. Jan donated to the Strive Scholarship Fund, our first partner to contribute to the Santa Clara County Housing Authority Strive Scholarship Fund. Hopefully not our last, but thank you very much, Jan. And I want to give a special welcome to Dr. Cindy Quinn. Dr. Wynn is an instructor with San Jose City College's Ethnic Studies program. As part of our welcome and thank you to you, Dr. Wynn, Santa Clara County Housing Authority contributed to the Southeast Asian, I know how to say this word, and I knew it's going to trip me up, Diaspora project, www.seedproject.org. The Southeast Asian Diaspora Project's vision is to rethink and reimagine and reshape what's possible in sustainable community development and growth for a thriving community with a pivoted focus on empowering Southeast Asian leaders, women, and young people. So we're really glad to have made that donation in your honor. I really look forward to hearing your words later this morning. Welcome and thank you. And without further ado, Tom, I'll turn it back to you.
Thank you, Preston. Thank you for sharing those remarks. And I just echo everything that Preston shared in terms of thanking the staff and highlighting the 58 scholars that we are celebrating today. And with that, we are now ready to hear from some of the scholars.
All right, thanks, Tom. So we've asked our scholars to send in a few vignettes introducing themselves and the schools that they're going to be attending this year and the vocations that they will be studying. And so we went ahead and rolled that all into a video so that you all could get some FaceTime with our scholars this year. So with that, I will go ahead and share my screen.
Hello everyone, I hope you all doing well. My name is Mohammed and I'm heading to San Jose City College. Currently I'm majoring in computer science.
Hello everyone, my name is Messiah Williams. I'm going to be attending Dominican University this fall semester and I will be majoring in biochemistry and chemistry. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ariana Garcia. I will be returning to San Jose State University to study my major in Justice Studies. I just wanted to say thank you for this opportunity to financially help myself and other students.
Hello, I'm Zareen Tasneem and I'm heading to George Washington University to study nursing.
My name is Sebastian Aguilar and I will be returning to UC Santa Barbara for my last year studying physics.
Hi, my name is Jacqueline Nguyen and I will be returning to UC Riverside in the fall and I am studying business administrations.
I'm Michaela Chambers. I'm returning to San Jose State University to study business administration with a concentration in human resource management.
Hi, my name is Lena and I am thankful to have been awarded the scholarship. I am an upcoming senior at San Diego State University studying biology to become a physician assistant. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Amanda Fu and I'm headed to the University of California, Davis to study political science.
I'm Michelle Dell. I'm heading to San Jose State University to study molecular biology for the fall semester, but I'll be changing my major to computer science or engineering after that fall semester though.
I'm Johnny Fuentes and I'm returning to San Jose State University to study global operations management.
I'm Carla Chan and I'm going to be heading off to Santa Clara University to study in management.
Hello, my name is Jennifer Nguyen and I'm returning to UCLA in the fall to study human biology and anthropology.
Hi, I'm Destiny Holloman and I'm headed to San Jose State University to study nursing.
Hi, my name is Philip. I graduated from UC Davis and I'm currently applying to physician assistant or PA school. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sally Tran. I am heading back to Deanna College to study animation.
Hello, I'm Franklin Nguyen and I'll be returning to San Jose State to study materials engineering.
Hello, I'm Christine Chu and I'm heading to San Jose State University for nursing.
Hi, I'm Ming. I'm returning to Cal State Long Beach to study business marketing.
And now we're going to hear from 3 more scholars in a little bit more detail of their educational pursuits.
All right. One second.
Hello, my name is Carla Chan, and I'll be attending Santa Clara University. I plan to major in management at the Levy School of Business to gain leadership skills, work with my community, and operate in the business field. Some educational goals that I am aiming for are bettering my time management, work ethic, and experiences in college. During the pandemic, I learned that taking care of your mental health is just as important as taking care of your well-being. With good mental health, anything you put your mind to will be accomplished. Therefore, we must take care of each other, especially during these hard times. Learning to take care of my mental health led me to accomplishing my dreams both inside and outside the classroom quickly and more efficiently. Overall, my point is that dreams, even the most challenging ones, can be reached once you take care of yourself first. Using the skills I'll gain in college, I plan to give back to my community, motivate myself to work harder, and make my family proud. I want to be a mentor to guide the younger generation towards opportunities I did not have growing up. This scholarship will highly benefit me in my college career since it will help me pay for my tuition at Santa Clara University. With the need-based aid at Santa Clara provides me, attending this school will still leave me with roughly $40,000 in debt. Having Section 8 housing greatly benefits my family, but my family's financial status is not enough to cover my college expenses. Earning this scholarship will make things easier for me to be able to succeed in college. As a future college student, I will continue to chase my dreams and plan to live the best life possible in and out of college. Thank you.
Hi everybody, my name is Jason Holland, and I would just like to start off by saying how grateful I am to the Strive Scholarship Foundation for giving me this amazing opportunity. I'm very pleased to be here. A little about myself. I'm currently a second year at university, going on to my third, and it's been determined that I'll be graduating a year early with a molecular biology degree. During my year after graduating, I anticipate taking a gap year. In this gap year, I will be studying for my MCAT examination as well as continuing research in my immunology lab to make strides in the future of medicine and health. After taking the MCAT and being accepted into medical school, I plan to be matched into pediatric medicine. While a great accomplishment to be had, that is not my end goal. My biggest goal is to open up free health clinics as a means to help underrepresented populations that can't afford the unfairly inflated fees of medicine for themselves and for their children. With that, I'm certain that my education and determination will leave a positive impact and legacy in underrepresented communities. My goals are oriented on the fact that I grew up with a single mother that works as a mental health social worker, and I'm grateful to have been exposed to the many demographics and experienced firsthand what economic disparity looks like across many communities, as well as what it does to the many that live within those communities. It's these experiences that make up my core ideologies on society and how essential it is to give back to the community, because there are many instances where promising individuals cannot grow without proper support because of where their starting line is. I'm very fortunate to have had the amazing support system that my friends and family are, that my mom is. She's helped me see a lot of things clearly and taught me how to keep myself on the right track. In high school, I was having a hard time of it, trying to get a grasp of what I wanted to do in my life. At that point, I had a 2.0 GPA. I wasn't very proud of myself, but deep down I knew I was made for better things, as long as I just applied myself. It was a turning point because I knew what potential I have, and I knew that I needed to make it out of the mud. So with that in mind, I achieved 4.0 GPAs throughout the rest of high school, and I took on a lot of leadership positions, like swim captain, water polo captain, and even joining student council and opening up a lot of clubs. And that led me here at UC Santa Cruz. Now, UC Santa Cruz and college as a whole is just a different beast in general, but you transition. In college, you learn that there are geniuses and there are people who work really hard. And I'm a firm believer in those that put in more work than everyone else. I myself had to put in a lot of work just to pull ahead of students that had the expenses to afford high quality education as well as multiple tutoring sessions that I never got to have. And because of that, I took extra units and I really hammered down my time into what I really needed to do and focus on. I sacrificed a lot of my summers just to take classes and not even to get ahead, but just to make myself feel like I'm where everyone else is. But in the end, I ended up a little ahead. I found myself, I found out that I can graduate a year early, so that's kind of an indicator that I kind of overshot it. Now to finish it up, a brief message to those that have to make something great out of themselves from nothing. Rock bottom is the strongest foundation you can have to build something amazing. It's the place where you take inventory of the things you have and what you don't have, like your friends and family, the food on the table, and what the systems in place have given to you, as well as everything it hasn't. The systems part, that includes like education, state and federal funding, anything that you would need to get ahead or just to kind of equalize yourself where everyone else is. Now, taking into account of what you have and what you don't have is part of seeing the big picture, and I consider it a type of power, to be honest. In seeing the big picture, you realize what you're lacking, right? It's one thing to complain about what you don't have and what you want, but it's another thing to see what you lack and work on yourself to reach those goals, right? It's one of my biggest motivators in academics. If I see something that I feel like a lot of my peers have down that I don't have down, then I'm gonna put in a lot of time just to make sure I understand the concepts of what I need and what I need to do. And that ideology is applied in every aspect of life, right? You see people who are achieving higher education just to attain better jobs, or people who are putting in more work just to get to where they're at now. And I think to myself, like, why can't that be me? And with that in mind, I know I have every potential to make it there. And you see, ideals without that self-made power are just jokes or weak aspirations. They're just empty dreams. But if you have your ideals, your goals, and your aspirations, and you have the determination to get there, your chances are, no matter how far back you are, you're gonna make it. And that's how I'm here today, and that's all I wanted to share. Thank you so much for everybody's time. Once again, I'm very grateful to the Strive Scholarship Foundation. My name is Jason Hong, and it's been a pleasure talking to you guys.
Hi, my name is Michaela Chambers. I attend San Jose State University, and I'm a rising junior. My major is Business Administration with a concentration in Human Resource Management. Throughout my educational journey, I started off at San Jose State as undeclared because I really wasn't sure of what I wanted to do. And through my freshman year, what I did is I sought out help through guidance counselors and tutors to really help me try to figure out, what do I want to do? Where do I want to go? And being a first generation college student too, it kind of made it difficult because I kind of had a little bit difficulty with finding my right direction. However, I did seek out programs where people would really walk me through it, and they did. So by my second year, the coronavirus hit, and then everything went virtual, online. Having online classes was a big deal because it was almost difficult to find the motivation to still want to do well in my classes while studying from home. However, I thought about my why. And my why for getting an education is because I know I've always been taught that education is power, and that it's so important because when I have an education, you know, the sky's the limit. I want to be able to support myself and my family. That's my goal. You know, I grew up with my mom, so I would like to be able to learn and just have a sense of financial stability, independence, but also just well-rounded education, because I've always been taught that's so important, and I really want to do that. And during this pandemic, one way that I was able to persevere was by going to office hours on Zoom, you know, and sometimes it was frustrating because Zoom would cut out, but I had to keep going. I kept persevering because I thought about my why. And now that I'm going to be a rising junior, I'm going to keep on going, keep on persevering. And even now, I ended up changing my major by my second year because I had joined programs where I was really walked through all the different career paths that I had never even heard about before. I never knew about that they existed. And I ended up landing on human resource management, and through this program I was taught how to get an internship and the importance of it, and I took advantage of it, and now I'm in a position where I've got one internship down during my college career, and I'm going to be a rising junior, and now I know where I want to be headed to, and I know that I want to get my undergraduate degree and I want to go on to get my MBA, and I have these big goals, but also I'm taking advantage of all the different opportunities on campus, and that's what's really helped me, and the different people who are so willing to help, the professors, the guidance counselors, you know, the tutors, they're all available, and that's something that's really helped me. And also just knowing my why when I'm tired, when I don't feel like studying all the time, but to really put in my best effort, that's what helped me, knowing, hey, this is going to pay off and I'm going to be able to support myself and my family, and that's really important to me. So that's been some of my challenges, just, you know, staying focused. But what's helped me is thinking about my why, and throughout this semester being online, I was actually able to achieve straight A's, and that was done not solely based on all on me, but because I was able to reach out. I went to office hours, I just put in the effort, and that's kind of advice I'd give too. Just always put in your best effort, because when you do, people notice that and they really appreciate that. That's something I found, that when I just put in my best effort, people around me notice and they really want to help, and they'll want to help you out because they see that you take things seriously and you really are the type of person who is dedicated. So that's how it worked out for me. And again, throughout my goal, I really want to pursue my education because I know that education is power. And on top of that, I also want to see more leaders who are women and people of color. And I know that, you know, if I want to see it, my mindset is, you know, I want to become what I want to see more of. So I want to go into the HR field, and I know that in order to do that, I needed my education. And that's why I want to be that woman and that woman of color who is a leader, and, you know, defeat all the stereotypes that, oh, I can't do this because I am black, or I can't do this because I am a woman. I can't do something because I come from a low income background. Like, to get rid of all of those stereotypes, to pursue my education, because I know with that, I can do it. I can do it. And you can too. So, thank you for listening.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Doris Keeson. I'm the Housing Services Coordinator. I want to thank everyone for submitting their videos, especially to Carla, Jason, and Michaela, who did such a great job for sharing their personal experiences as well as their words of encouragement. I would also like to congratulate all the scholars on their great applications, their personal essays and letters of recommendation, and I hope that you will all consider applying again in the future. And I wish you all the best in the upcoming school year. So now I would like to introduce our next speaker. She was raised in San Jose. She received a BA degree in Asian American Studies from UC Davis, her MA in Asian American Studies from San Francisco State University, and her PhD from the University of Utah. In addition, she is an award-winning educator, published author, and who is deeply dedicated to ethnic studies, young people, and of course, the greatest of all time, Jeff Curry. So please welcome Dr. Cindy Quinn.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here, very honored, and I'll begin. I don't know if anyone has my slides, by the way, or if I'm supposed to share them.
I have them. I can share them for you if you prefer
Oh,
that.
yeah, that would be great, Orly. Thank you. I appreciate it. And you can just go ahead and go to the first slide. I'll give Orly a second. Awesome, thank you. And you can go to the next slide. Perfect, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Epigenetic researchers have learned that emotional trauma can leave marks on a person's genes. These marks alter the mechanisms by which genes are expressed. This means traumatic experiences can alter a person's biology and, in turn, the behaviors and characteristics of those they pass their biology onto. I learned about the fragility and value of housing and home before I was born. My parents are both Vietnam War refugees. They were forced out of their houses and their homes. The onus of their displacement is twofold. It rests with their region's communist government, but also the US's imperialist agenda. As Sino-Vietnamese, my father was forcefully displaced before my mother. He escaped Vietnam in the late 1970s as Vietnamese nationalism ballooned and the relationship between the Vietnamese government and the Sino-Vietnamese population worsened. My mother escaped 3 years later as part of the second wave, a collection of people known as secret escapees or boat people. Their dangerous escapes landed them each in refugee camps. My father was housed in Malaysia for a year, whereas my mother spent a cumulative 9 months in Singapore and Indonesia. As my mother tells it, even though she was temporarily housed, she was never at home. Refugees slept in barracks, ate the same canned foods daily, and never knew what the next day would bring. Next slide, please. My parents each departed their respective refugee camps after securing sponsorships. My father, alongside his brother, were sponsored to Iowa as part of the refugee dispersal policies. My mother and her immediate family were sponsored to Germany. A few years later, my father and mother reunited, and she eventually joined him in the States. For Vietnam War refugees, sponsorship was quote unquote good. Theoretically, sponsorship signified freedom, security, and the promise of better. But for my parents, better had caveats. To make American money, you had to be exploited. To have American housing, you had to experience discrimination. To be American, you had to let go of some of the most beautiful, celebrated parts of yourself, like changing your name from Dung, spelled D-U-N-G, which means courageous in Vietnamese, for June, because American people teased you incessantly about how your name was quote unquote cow shit. Yet even in the midst of the institutional interpersonal trauma, hurt, and harm that my parents experienced, they fought to rebuild home. Something more than a dwelling or shelter, rather a sacred healing space, a place where their humanity had full permission. Housing is a human right. As Asha Newman writes, if someone has the right to live, someone has the right to what is required to live that life. Among the most basic necessities to live include food, water, clothing, as well as housing. What happens when housing is precarious? When families are burdened by gentrification, rising rent, decrepit conditions, and opportunistic landlords? There are numerous consequences. The People's Policy Project found that housing instability is a public health issue. It causes a higher frequency of emotional, physical, and psychological distress, food insecurity, alcohol and drug dependence, and increased hospitalization for physical injury and disorders like anxiety. Now, what if we take this a step further and argue that home, coupled with housing, is also a human right? In this idea, I'm guided by author and educator Bell Hooks' conceptualization of home place for Black women. She writes, the task of making home place was not simply a matter of Black women providing service. It was about the construction of a safe place where Black people could affirm one another, and by so doing, heal many of the wounds inflicted by racist domination. We could not learn to love or respect ourselves in the culture of white supremacy on the outside. It was there on the inside, in that home place, most often created and kept by Black women, that we had the opportunity to grow and develop to nurture our spirits. Housing is the material, the tangible, and home is the conceptual, the emotional, and spiritual uplift. When put together and offered to everyone, we will know our collective power and flourish. Next slide, please. I know this to be true because of my parents. While my home was not without struggle or hurt, it was where I learned to love, care, contend, and dream. Home is where I heard the tonality of my mother tongue, tasted the 5 elements of Vietnamese cuisine, and learned the joy of kinship. Home is where I read, cried, danced, prayed, and sang. Home is where I learned that love can come in a bowl of soup and cut fruit after dinner. Home is also where I became politicized. For years, I witnessed my parents serve as foster parents, chefs, sponsors, translators, driving instructors, and providers for our small Vietnamese community. My home was a site of gathering, celebration, caretaking, and solidarity, and it was far better than the world outside. Since my adolescence, housing and home has changed a lot. My parents' divorce, my mother's gambling addiction, and my father's terminal illness and death all became catalysts for longstanding distress and despair. During this period of my life, housing was incredibly elusive. I moved incessantly and struggled through depression, anxiety, and low self-confidence. Next slide. And it wasn't until my mid to late 20s that I truly felt home again, which non-coincidentally was when I started flourishing in my personal development, kinships, and professional and community service. The comfort of stable housing and the emotional and spiritual uplift guided me through my own rebuilding. I deepened my relationship with my sister, left behind an abusive 9-year intimate partnership, finished my doctoral degree that I had grown resentful of, fell in love again, and transformed into a thoughtful co-parent, aunt, and educator. In the last year and a half, home has been where I've taught, grieved, and laughed alongside countless students. It is also where my loved ones and I have stayed protected from COVID-19 and isms, including racism, sexism, and ableism. I deserve this. My parents deserve this. We all deserve this without caveats, and we should verbalize it more. We deserve the gestures of care, tenderness, and affirmation that housing and home brings. We shouldn't have to worry about basic necessities, and we shouldn't have to beg. We don't need to suffer to know resilience. As Brea M. Johnson notes, lessons are possible without suffering. We do, however, have the responsibility to care for one another, to treat people with dignity, and to extend comfort to others when we can, all while holding ourselves accountable. And as an educator, I try to practice this. I see my classroom as my students' housing, and I work to become their home. The material we learn, the dialogue we have, and the expectations we uphold creates a site of resistance, and I do my very best to nurture my students' brilliance, celebrate their wins, empower their service, and honor their humanity. As students and community members, I hope that you have the housing and homes you deserve, and that you too fight for the housing and homes of others. Imagine what it looks like when we all flourish, when we don't have to strive for better because we have better, when we aren't fighting due to scarcity, but instead celebrating abundance. Congratulations on your well-deserved scholarships. Thank you for having me. Take care.
Thank you, Cindy. It was so nice for you to share your experience and those photos. They're really beautiful of you and your family. So thank you so much for the work you do and the support you provide to students throughout Santa Clara County. Throughout this ceremony, I think we've heard how education is power, just the really moving words of the scholars and from Cindy. And I'd like to believe that success leads to more success. And I encourage all of you to take advantage of the resources that are available to you, both throughout the community and that the Housing Authority is proud to be a resource to you as you proceed through your educational journey. It's really important, as we heard, to take care of yourself and others. At this point, I would like to turn it over to Kathy Espinoa Howard, a member of our Board of Commissioners.
Well, I just applaud all of you and all of the speakers for how we are honoring our Strive Scholarship awardees. I am so honored to be with you today as you receive your scholarship awards. I want to congratulate all of you on behalf of the Board of Commissioners. You have chosen a road not traveled by many, and on your journey, you are going forward to a better future. It takes courage. It takes courage, a belief in yourself, and persistence to achieve your goal. And you have demonstrated that already with these qualities today through the award of your scholarship. You persisted, You believed in yourself and you applied for the scholarship award. A world pandemic couldn't stop you from reaching your scholarship goal. I believe in that this program is probably one of the most favorite of all of the commission that the commission and the staff have created, because it provides us with hope for the future through your endeavors. We see hope and we see you striving for a better future, which is really rewarding for all of us. On behalf of the Board of Commissioners, I want to thank the staff for all of the extra efforts that you had to work in order to make sure that this Strive Award was going to happen this year, especially when dealing with this pandemic. Thank you again, staff, for all of your efforts. And also doing all the workarounds when you couldn't meet in person, or you couldn't meet the scholarship awardees in person. Finally, on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, I wish you the best of luck as you begin your new school year. And I leave you with this, and one of our speakers had said this: you can do it. And in Spanish is, sí se puede. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Really appreciate your kind words and sharing that. I do have some last logistical details that I would like to share with all the scholars. Checks will be mailed today for those of you that have already submitted your paperwork to Dory. There are a few scholars in which we need proof of enrollment. So please go ahead and forward that or any other documentation that is required to Dory, and then we will go ahead and send your scholarship award upon receipt. I just want to thank everyone for joining us and to wish you the best, and congratulations to all the scholars. With that concludes our formal ceremony, and take care and enjoy the rest of your day.